So, how to prepare to meet your Tinder date. If you are dating, you're going to go on your first date or your first date in a long time, well, congratulations. It's exciting, but I also know it's nerve wracking. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 3 tips I have that can make or break your date. And really, this is all about the confidence in who you are and being real. But I'm going to share these 3 and I'm going to dive deeper into each one. So, okay, common challenges when people face when yet they're preparing for a date. So obviously there's those nerves and uncertainty. What should I wear? What will he think of me? Will my nerves show? And you may find yourself trying to be what you think the guy is looking for. So what I would say is the first of these tips is the first is know what you want before you go on the date, before you even agree to the date, as before you even go on the dating app. Get clear what it is that you want. What is it that you want out of a relationship? What is your dating intention? Are you dating, you just want casual relationships, you're not sure what you want? Are you looking for marriage and children? You be clear on your dating intention. What is really important to you? What did you sacrifice in your last relationships? What did you push aside? What needs and desires of yours did you push aside because you just wanted to hang on to that relationship? Now, if you are at this point, you are about to have an online date. You are going to be meeting someone. You are out there. My goodness, get first off really clear on what you want. And if your date is tonight and you haven't got clear on it, you can start getting clear now. What is your dream if you could wave a magic wand and you had exactly the relationship that you really wanted? So, your desire, knowing what you want, will keep you sane when you're dating and it will keep you on track when chemistry tries to run you. Because what will happen is you will start dating, and there will be guys who are like your ex who will trigger that excitement and that chemistry. And excitement and chemistry, there's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes it can be an indicator that it is just a familiar person, somebody who triggers a familiar feeling in you, but it doesn't necessarily predict that this person could be good relationship material. There are more ways for you to see whether or not someone is, you know, they've got what it takes to be in a relationship for the long term or the kind of relationship you really want. So knowing what you want, being really clear about what you want is so important in your preparation for that date. The second is be prepared to listen. Now, on a date, of course, we want to share about ourselves. We want to talk about what we do with our days and what our passions are and what we're looking for in a relationship and our opinions on things. And of course, I really want you to be on dates with people who are interested. But this second point is be prepared to listen. We learn more about a person by listening than by speaking. We learn far more. So I was speaking with a guy, and I always would speak to someone, do a video call before arranging to meet. So I was sat in my car and we ended up having a video call and we were chatting, and I just let this guy talk. And he was talking about how, well, see, he lived in one town, his children lived in a town there, and then I lived in a town here. And he was saying, oh, yeah, it will be absolutely, oh, and his workplace was kind of over here. So he was saying, oh, it's absolutely fine. I'll be able to meet you and spend time with you. Because I was saying, maybe we're a bit far away. And as I let him speak, and he shared about where he lived, where his children lived, where he worked, he told me in not such a direct way, but he told me he would not be able to manage a relationship with someone who lived where I lived. And also, as I let him talk and he spoke about his previous relationships and why they didn't work, he um he was telling me that, oh, well, I met someone else. So by letting him speak and by being just prepared to listen, he gave me the information that when the going gets tough in a relationship, he bails out and finds someone else. So that was incredible. That was far better use of my time listening to him than it was telling him about me. And and also, you're not auditioning for a guy. You are not trying to show him what a great woman you are. People feel great when they're listened to. And it's not that you should just sit there quiet on a whole date, but just learning to just sit with that person and hear them. Many men don't get fully listened to. They don't get fully heard unless they go to therapy. So actually being a woman who can just stop her own thoughts whizzing, who can zip up her mouth just for a minute and just listen, you will be a rarity among women. And a man is going to feel seen and heard. And also, of course, I want you to feel seen and heard. But these are different ways to prepare for a date. Don't feel you have to fill the gaps. And the third is be imperfect. Be imperfect. One of the things we try and do is like be the person that we think that person is going to want. We want to be, look sexy enough. We want to be fun enough. We want to be all the things. Now, of course, I don't want you to show up on a date complaining, and I don't want you to show up on a date, being really negative or talking about all your problems. That's not going to be a great way to connect with a person. However, being imperfect means, the clothes you wear. Just feel comfortable. Wear some clothes that you feel good in, that are tidy, are smart, but you are going to feel far more comfortable than if you've got everything immaculate. Your nails, your makeup, your hair's immaculate, your dress, you're in heels. You may not feel comfortable. So if you've got a Tinder date, you're meeting for a coffee, go comfortable. And you will feel your energy will be far more relaxed. So, and also the whole thing with being imperfect is, remember, on the date, you may slip up on your words. You may just fumble a bit with things. Don't worry about that. That makes you real. I was on a date with someone and we had a bit of food and we had a bit of lunch and it was so delicious. I ended up putting too much of it in my mouth at once, of the food. And then or maybe it was hot, something like that. And I ended up catching some of the food in my mouth. And I just laughed. And he laughed. And I probably blushed. And later on, he sent me a message saying he couldn't stop thinking about how cute I looked, laughing at the food in my hand. That little imperfection, that little fault, that little mistake became something that he thought really fondly of. When we are imperfect, we give other people the permission to be imperfect. Suddenly, you can both relax and you can just be real. My man, he when we were on our first date, I can barely even remember this particular incident, but he said he kind of tickled me and he felt awful about that. He thought, what on earth did I do? I barely noticed it and it was fine. So really, think about like how we remember people. When we look back and remember people fondly, it's their little faults. We'll go, oh gosh, remember how frustrated she used to get with this? Or remember, no matter how hard she tried, she was always running a bit late and her she had one odd socks on. So it's those little faults and those little anomalies that actually make us really fond of people. So if you have any questions, do pop them in the chat. I'm just going to keep sharing this information and then, I will answer any questions if you have them. So really, that whole thing of knowing what you want, being really clear with yourself about what you want, being prepared to listen, because we learn far more about a person listening than speaking, and allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to be imperfect and to be real. Whether you sneeze, whether you slip over, whatever happens, it just the more comfortable you are with your imperfections, the more comfortable he's going to feel, knowing that he can be imperfect too. So I'd love to know your date prep tips. Is there anything that you do to prepare for a date? Pop those in the comments below. And if you want to be the first to know about my upcoming masterclass, Date Like a Girl, this is feminine energy dating tips and tools for the modern woman. This is how to date from your feminine energy. This masterclass is coming up in the next week or so. If you pop yourself on my mailing list, you will also get a free audio training. But if you pop yourself on my mailing list, I'll pop that link in the description below. But if you go to naomithompson.com, you will find a link to go on my mailing list. You will find out about the upcoming masterclass, Date Like a Girl. It is going to be fabulous. You are going to learn the whole dating method and the tips and tools for how to date effortlessly from your feminine energy in these modern times. So I don't have any questions. So I will see you in the masterclass. I will see you in my newsletters. Really looking forward to seeing you in the masterclass. When I've got the link to the checkout for it, I will also pop that in the description. But for now, pop yourself on my email list and you will get that. Mwah. Loads of love to you all, and I will see you in the masterclass.